Coming up on 5-Minute News. Trump says he won't commit to election results if he loses. Black Lives Matter generation remembers John Lewis. And floods in Nepal and India displace nearly 4 million people. It's Monday, July 20. I'm Anthony Davis. President Donald Trump is refusing to publicly commit to accepting the results of the upcoming White House election, recalling a similar threat he made weeks before the 2016 vote. Trump says it's too early to make such an ironclad guarantee. The Biden campaign responded, "The American people will decide this election, and the United States government is perfectly capable of escorting trespassers out of the White House." Critics say it's remarkable that a sitting president would express less than complete confidence in the American democracy's electoral process. Trump's language and actions in recent weeks have been described as fascist after peaceful protesters were kidnapped by his unidentified military police from the streets of Portland, Oregon. His recent declaration identifying Antifa as a terrorist organization would suggest that his administration is the fascist regime they protest against. Trump has seen his presidential popularity erode over his handling of the coronavirus pandemic, and in the aftermath of nationwide protests centered on racial injustice that erupted after George Floyd's death in Minneapolis nearly 2 months ago. Trump said he can understand why Black Americans are upset about how police use force disproportionately against them, but added his usual refrain that whites are also killed too, suggesting that he has not grasped the significance of the Black Lives Matter movement. The United States tops the global COVID-19 death toll with over 140,000 and confirmed infections of nearly 4 million. Currently, Trump is seeking to block billions of dollars in funding for coronavirus testing and contact tracing efforts as cases spike across the US, where around 70,000 people are testing positive each day. Trump has repeatedly blamed increased testing for the rise in cases, though that theory is clearly debunked by the results of those very tests. US Congressman John Lewis died on Friday night, months after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, at a pivotal moment for race relations in the United States. Protesters in cities from coast to coast are demanding widespread reforms in the wake of the May 25th police killing of George Floyd. Of all the ways that John Lewis influenced American life and politics, his indelible impact on young people may be among the most enduring. From student activist to elder statesman, Lewis continually encouraged the nation's youth to start good trouble and modelled just how to do that. He was arrested alongside millennial activists pushing for comprehensive reform of US immigration laws in 2013. For the Black Lives Matter generation, the connection to Lewis is deeper than many may realize. As a young man through clouds of tear gas and a hail of billy clubs, Lewis nearly lost his life marching against segregation and for voting rights. Democratic lawmakers said on Sunday they don't want tweets or condolences to honor civil rights icon John Lewis. They want policymakers to get to work to honor the Georgia congressman's legacy. Representative James Clyburn, the House Majority Whip, urged Donald Trump and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to pass legislation that would expand voting rights in Lewis's name. Clyburn also called for the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, to be renamed in honor of Lewis, a lifelong friend. The bridge, currently named after a former Confederate general and Ku Klux Klan leader, became a critical site during the civil rights movement. On Bloody Sunday in 1965, Alabama state troopers beat peaceful demonstrators there, including Lewis, who suffered a fractured skull. Recent protests have prompted cities nationwide to reconsider monuments and other honors granted to people with ties to the Confederacy or other racist legacies. An online petition to rename the bridge in Lewis's honor was drafted last month and has gained more than 500,000 signatures. Nearly 4 million people in India's northeastern state of Assam and neighbouring Nepal have been displaced by heavy flooding from monsoon rains, with dozens missing as deaths rose to at least 189, government officials said yesterday. The overflowing Brahmaputra River, which flows through China's Tibet, India, and Bangladesh, has damaged crops and triggered mudslides. More than 2.75 million people in Assam have been displaced by 3 waves of floods since late May that has claimed 79 lives after 2 more deaths were reported overnight. Assam is facing the twin challenge of combating floods and the coronavirus pandemic. Out of 33 districts, 25 remained affected after the current wave of flooding, beginning a fortnight ago. India is grappling with the novel coronavirus, which has infected nearly 1.1 million people there, and 26,816 have died from the COVID-19 disease. In neighbouring Nepal, the government asked residents along its southern plains on Sunday to remain alert as heavy monsoon rains were expected to pound the Himalayan nation, where more than 100 have died in floods and landslides since June. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Visit us online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an independent production covering politics, inequality, health, and climate, delivering unbiased, verified, and truthful world news daily.